All right. What's going on? Today was a good day. So instead of playing the music, let's talk about what's happening with the corporate toolbox. The first 10 people can get 50% off the corporate toolbox using the promo code corporate. Link is below. So that's going on. And also, I want to talk about what happened today. Today, my assistant started the transforming process. And what I'm going to explain this because I got a whole bunch of emails last night and this morning about it. All right. Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills is officially dead. Becoming a corporate citizen is dead. I am moving everything to B School for Hustlers. Now, if you were at Hustlers Kung Fu tonight after this live stream, I'm going to send you an email and I'm going to send you a limited time offer for the new stuff. So I haven't forgotten you guys, but let me explain what's happening. I get people who find me and then they start going through the videos and they start going to all these websites and they get confused and they're like, I don't know what to buy. I don't know what he has going on. I don't know what. So Hustlers Kung Fu is officially dead. Now, if you're there, essentially what, Think if it has this process where I can just stop paying and just change the domain name to a Thinkific domain and the content will stay there. It's just, I'm going to make it very hard for people to find. If you're on the platform, you will be emailed the new domain name and I will just stop paying for it. And with the newer platform, becoming a corporate citizen, I'm just going to kill that. And I'm going to move everyone, because today we moved everyone who paid in full over to the new platform. And my assistant sent out a bunch of emails. So this whole week is going to be about moving people over, getting everyone updated, getting everyone notified what's going on. So if you bought the corporate toolbox, you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to email me. You don't have to have any questions because you will get this new training. And if you bought the original corporate toolbox, you will get the YouTube training when I get around to it. Now, if you're signing up for the corporate papers, you don't get the YouTube training. I will make an offer once I get to it for the people who are in the corporate papers. So hopefully that clears up everything. And I got a lot of people ask me questions. It's like, I just want this. See, here's one of the things. Oh, also, I had a lot of people asking me if I was going to do the payment plans at $150. The answer is no. Strange thing happened. The first few times I did payment plans, I had a lot of people sign up and a lot of people pay. And this time what has happened is each month I get more and more people who fall out of the queue. And essentially with Stripe and the way that it's set up, you no longer have access to the content. But the way that I had built out the corporate toolbox, there was a ton of content, a ton of training there, and people were just signing up and getting the training and dipping, So I may in the future, but right now the payment plan starts at $200 per month, and this is to keep the craziness down, to keep the riffraff out. Because look, I understand being poor. I understand not having no money. I've been there, man. I've been there. However, I don't run a charity. This is not a non-profit. And also, something else I'm starting to find out. I will tell you about this student that I had. And this student, been watching the channel. Shout out to Alan. And he reached out to me and he had an unfortunate event. His grandmother and grandfather passed away. Unfortunate event, but they left him $250,000. So he reaches out to me and he's like, man, what should I do with this money? And I told him, you should park the money in the bank and come up with a plan. You should not start spending money. You shouldn't buy a car. You shouldn't do nothing. You should come up with a plan. And he took my advice. He paid for a consult. He came up with a plan. And now, and he didn't spend this $250,000. He started a business with $25,000. Started a business last year with $25,000. And this year, he's on track to gross $100K. So he still has $200K in the bank. Once again, understand, he started this business. He bought some mentorships. And this is something else that I do when people reach out to me. You know, it's kind of like when the student is ready, the teacher will show up or something like that. And Alan, he managed his money really well. He bought some training, he bought some consulting, and now he's sitting on a 6-figure business, his first 14, 15 months in business. First 14, 15 months in business. And this is something else that I'm going to add to the corporate toolbox, because right now, what I'm doing is straightening up everything. I'm cleaning up my house. I'm cleaning up my kitchen. Like, I know a lot of you guys love Hustlers Kung Fu. If you're in it, I'm just going to make it where no one else can find it. But if you're in it, I will send you a link, and I'm going to get rid of the new website, and it will be Savage Finance. It will be B School for Hustlers, and it'll be the YouTube. There'll be the creative. I don't even know the name of it because I haven't looked at it in a while. But there'll be those 3 websites, because I am consistently getting people who will find me and they will start poking around and they get confused. A confused person doesn't buy anything. Let me say this again. A confused person doesn't buy anything. So I'm making better use of my assistant. And essentially, a lot of you are reaching out asking me questions. You're going to have to reach, because essentially what I'm going to do is all questions are going to go through my assistant. Because a lot of y'all are so used to reaching out to me, and that is highly inefficient. Because right now, I get questions, I get like, 50, 60 questions a day. And essentially, if you are in the corporate papers, you're going to get her email. You're going to be able to email her. And what we're going to do is get together and have a conversation, because essentially I'm going to make use of my infrastructure. So if you've emailed me lately and you've not gotten a response, that's why. I'm just going to send you, I'm going to send out her email, and all queries are going to go through my assistant versus coming through me. Because essentially, what's the point in having staff if you're not using them, right? So that's one of the things that's going to happen. Also, there's going to be swag. Like if you bought the corporate toolbox, you're going to get a t-shirt or a hoodie or something. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do, but there's going to be some corporate swag. And once again, when we get there, we're not there yet. When we get there, assistant's going to send out an email. It's going to get your size and address. We're going to put together a spreadsheet. We're going to create the gear. So that's going to be something else that can happen. And that's this whole week. And Sunday, we're going to have our first webinar. Once again, I'm announcing it on Monday. I'm announcing it on YouTube. I'm emailing people and giving people plenty of time. It's going to be Sunday, 5 p.m. because essentially the training may shift to the weekend. Just depends upon how I work out my schedule and get some stuff done. But the training may shift to the weekend. But our first corporate training, we're going to have Sunday. Our first corporate training, we're going to have Sunday. And it's going to be a doozy, because this is something that we're going to get into in this live stream. People don't have a full understanding. Also, I need to say something because I said something with the corporate toolbox that if you paid in full, you were going to get consulting. And I tried it, and I tried it, and I tried it, and I tried it. It didn't work out. People wouldn't answer the emails. People wouldn't show up for the consults. And I'm like, okay, we're not doing that again. Yes, I did say that, but I tried it and it didn't work. It became a logistical nightmare to manage. People did not show up. People did not email me. People would hit me up at 10 o'clock at night. And, I'm like, that ain't working. So, going forward, if you want to talk to me, if you're a student in the corporate toolbox, you can get a consult for $500 per hour. Now, why am I charging money? Going back to what I told you about my student. Going back and talking about what happened with my student whose people left him $250,000. I think he paid me like $15K. And because when I charge you, you take action. When I make it inclusive for free, this is when people get piss poor results. So I want you guys to be successful. I want you guys to be, so essentially I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, because if you pay me $500 per hour, you're going to show up. You're going to show up because essentially you've already bought into the corporate toolbox, the corporate papers. So that's what we're going to do. And then there's going to be, I'm thinking, the corporate committee. And let's explain that. There's going to be a Facebook group. I haven't set this up. This week is going to be, I got to create a new Facebook profile to set up a Facebook group and send all this stuff out. There will be a Facebook group for the corporate papers, and the citizens and the people, you will have access to it. So there will be a Facebook group. There will be my assistant. And the only way that you get to talk to me directly if you book a $500 per hour consult, because literally every morning I wake up, I get a ton of, questions from people who are part of the corporate toolbox in the art of holding. But I get a ton of questions from people who have not bought nothing. And I was just sitting there like, who are you? Who are you sending me this 5-paragraph email? I'm like, I'm not gonna dig into that because you ain't even bought nothing. So everything's gonna go through my assistant, and we're getting ready to shape this up. We're getting ready to make this, we're gonna start cooking with gas, because I'm really, really excited, because today we got a lot done. And this week we should have everyone transferred to the corporate papers. And we're starting off with the people who paid in full, because that's easy. And tomorrow we're going to do the people who did the art of holding. We're going to add them to the corporate papers. And then later in the week, we're going to add the people on the payment plans, because there's a lot of them. And we have to go check who's consistent and who is not consistent, who's paying, who's not paying. So we got to go through all that, and that's going to take longer, and I got to teach her how to do that. So, but the easiest, it's just easier to do the people who bought the art of holding and the corporate papers in full. All right. So let me go ahead and see, because I cannot read this. What's up, Johnny Walden? What's up? All right, the DSL Chronicles. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. DL, you trying to be gangster. Haris, sorry to hear that. What's up? What's up? Thank you. Thank you. The average person spends inheritance 9 months. That's something we were talking about, because I told him to put his money in the bank, don't spend it, don't buy cars, don't pay off bills, and come up with a plan. And now I think after taxes, because he told me after taxes he's gonna make like $82,000, and he still got $200K in the bank, and he making more money. He's excited. He's a young man. He got him a little girlfriend. He talking about, I'm gonna marry her, have some babies, and that's like you're gonna set up that next legacy really, really well, because you're learning how to manage your money. John Frederick, I just answered that. I know a lot of people got salty about the free consults, but I tried to do it. It didn't work out. See, here's the thing you guys don't understand. When y'all make it hard for me to do something, that makes it less likely for me to do it. And I like, because I send them out and nobody got back to me. And essentially I got people reaching out to me like in the middle of the night. And I'm like, no. Level Up Finance. Show some of these students that are successful, have a talk on YouTube channel with them. Level Up Finance. Here's the thing, and this is something that has happened. If I go ahead and bring someone that doesn't have social media clout, because this dude, he ain't on social media. You can't find nothing about him. You Google him, you may find him in high school or something, because he's a young man. I think he's 25. So essentially, if I bring someone on here that you guys don't already know, y'all ain't gonna give a damn. Y'all ain't gonna give a damn, because I've had people, because essentially I'm gonna do this. I got a show that I'm gonna put together called Real Conversations with Real Entrepreneurs. And these are entrepreneurs you ain't never heard of, and I have a feeling how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna still do it. Because you gotta stop wanting to see what someone else did, and you need to start doing. Because everybody wants to see, like, I know someone that signed up for the Simplest business, that pallet business, right? And all right. Let's see. All right. John Frederick, let it go, man. Let it go. Because essentially what you're getting, because we'll get into that in a little bit. All right. Here's the thing. I have less free time now than I did when I launched that. I have less free time. And essentially, this is one of the things that happens. When people pay me $1,500 for a consult, they show up on time. I've had all kinds of issues with it. John, like, once again, y'all want to talk to me after like hours and stuff. And that ain't, once again, the decision has been made. If you're salty, you're salty. I don't care. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm back now. Same with business. If you make it hard for your customers to do business with you, they won't do business with you. This is true. I'm going to tonight send out some emails to people giving the discount to the new thing. All right, so we went through all that. All right, here's the thing that you're getting. I see it all over YouTube. People who have multiple businesses and they don't have a holding company. They are paying too much in taxes and they don't have a corporate culture. They don't have organization. They don't have nothing. They're out here making money, building companies, but one of the things that we're going to talk about, and this is going to be Sunday, we're going to get into the art, the art of holding companies. We're really going to get into the art of holding companies because people don't understand this. Like Johnson & Johnson, you think they make baby shampoo? Johnson & Johnson is a holding company. Let me go ahead and show you some stuff, because this ain't just me talking. Johnson and Johnson. Hold on. All right, so let's get into that. All right. Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceuticals. Johnson & Johnson is a holding company which is engaged in research and development, manufacturing, and sale of a range of products in healthcare. Johnson & Johnson has like 256 companies under this holding company umbrella. You think that's it? You think that's a 130-year-old holding company? Uber is in a holding company. Uber has 26,000 employees. Who knew? But I got some more research to do. But there's a lot of holding companies out here. There's a ton of holding companies out here. So we're going to be talking about holding company game, how to play the holding company game, because like right now, there's a lot of people on YouTube who are starting multiple companies, and none of them ever. Yes, Disney owns a lot. All these old companies, all these multi-billion-dollar companies are holding companies. They're holding companies. That should tell you something. Let me see. Disney is a holding company. Disney owns ABC, ESPN, 80% stake, Touchstone Pictures, Marvel, Lucasfilm, A&E, 50% equity, the History Channel, Lifetime. Disney is a holding company. And one of the things, pretty much, Alphabet's a holding company. Alphabet's a holding company. So why are all these companies set up as holding companies? Like, I got one of these questions, which I'm not going to answer. And they were asking me how to rent out their house to their business. And you got to have a holding company to do that. That's the reason that I can do this. No, I have not heard of a DTS 1030 exchange. I'll have to Google that. But this is how I can play the corporate games that I'm playing. Like right now, I'm paying myself $350,000 a year. That is my income from my holding company. And any other money that I take out the company, I would take out as dividends, which will save me a ton of taxes. Because here's the thing, and this is one of the things that we're going to address in Sunday's webinar. When you create the holding company, you create the rules. See, I don't think that people are used to the kind of freedom that a holding company will enable them to have. This ain't, Josh, you missed it. This is not passive income at all. This is one of the reasons that I made the decision to start charging for consults for people to be there, because my time, I don't have a lot of free time. There is like, essentially I have 25 cars and it's a full-time job. Like, let me tell you what happened today. 2 Camrys went to the shop. I picked up 2 cars from the shop. I had to get 2 cars cleaned. And then I had to go get tags for 3 cars. Found out 1 car has to have emissions before I can get a tag. And that was just before 12 o'clock. So essentially, this is going to be part of the corporate structure. I am beginning to see that I'm going to need an evening and a morning shift. I'm going to need, and this is something that happened this weekend. I had someone with a battery that went dead. So I'm going to have someone who on shift to handle certain things, to man the phone. And when someone calls in with a problem, so there's going to have to be a day shift, and there's going to have to be an evening shift. In the evening shift, there's most of the time there ain't going to be nothing going on. But if something does happen, I need someone there. Future, for anyone on the last car video, I got a playlist. I actually have trackers on my cars. I got 11 GPS kill switches on 11 cars. So I don't know where you've been. Y'all love to keep saying that. You should put trackers on your cars. You should put trackers. I go into detail about the nightmare that was finding someone to do that. Y'all ain't doing this. Works great. How would you know? Future, how would you know? I sell a lot, man. And also, my income isn't just from selling courses. I get money from selling courses. I get money from YouTube. I get affiliate marketing money. I have three revenue streams that any one of those streams I can live off of and live quite well, be frank with you. No, this was the acronym, because this is one of the things I'm coming to understand, that with the new buying policy that I'm going to institute after August, I'm going to create an additional budget on top of the price of the car. Like, I buy a car, I'm going to have an additional $2,000, because when people trade these cars, they don't take care of them. They really don't. So we're going to get into the finer points of corporate law and corporate utilization. Now, what do I mean by corporate utilization? It's getting kind of dark. Let's see. All right, we can turn a little light on. What do I mean by corporate utilization? See, once you have your holding company, and like with my student, we had a plan, and I may go ahead and try to bring some people on, but if you don't know who these folks are, because essentially I don't even know about that. But we will see. But if you don't understand how corporate, good Lord. Oh, if you don't understand how corporate stuff works and the power of a holding company, you're not going to use it. And we're going to go into that in applications and some things. Because here's some good news for the people who are getting in the corporate papers. After I get this car company set up, I'm going to start another business. And I'm going to give you details about this. I don't even know what kind of business I'm going to start, because my head right now is on getting the corporate papers up and running and managing this fleet. And, because it's getting easier and easier and easier. It's getting easier and easier and easier. So one of the things that I'm going to do is create little, I may create a hustlers club or something like that. And like everyone who paid in full for the course, you will be in the hustlers club. And anyone else that wants to get into it, there'll probably be a fee. But there's going to be a lot more things that we're going to do. Because one of the things that people don't understand about holding companies is no one is talking to you except me about holding companies, because there are videos on YouTube that will say don't start a holding company. And if you know that you want to start multiple streams of income, because right now I have YouTube. Well, let's go in order of priority. Online courses, YouTube, consulting, affiliate income, and now I have car rental income. So I have 5 revenue streams. And by the end of the year, I may have 6. And I'm going to teach you how to set up your holding company, but more importantly, teach you how to map out your process. Fred G, I think you need to go ahead and engage a CPA as early as possible. In the beginning, there's not a lot for a CPA to do. But here's the thing, like trying to find a CPA during tax season is a nightmare. It's going to be real hard because they're all busy. So you want to find a CPA before they get busy. So you want to go ahead and start interviewing CPAs and talking to them, explaining what your business is and finding out what they're going to charge you. So we're going to be doing this stuff because this is where this is really different than anything else on YouTube. I will be starting businesses, and like the stuff on YouTube is just kind of like the eye candy. I'm going to get into real numbers because, like, here's the thing. I set up Mac Daddy Autos. My office is finally ready so I can apply for my dealer's license. All that stuff's done. So I'm going to apply for my dealer's license. I got to pull out that packet and look at that this week. But I started my LLC, which was part of my holding company, corporate checking, corporate credit card. The next company I start, I'm going to start with corporate credit. And why am I doing that? Honestly, if I had started building my business credit years ago, I'd be up to like $6-7 million in business credit. CP is more important than your wife and your mama. That's funny. That's funny. But, we're going to talk about, I'm going to go into detail. And once again, let me say this clearly and distinctly. You're going to need a holding company, and you're going to need multiple companies to play the game that I'm playing. You cannot play this game with one company. And this is why I'm redoing the content, redoing the strategies, redoing the live trainings. And the live trainings are going to be probably longer. They're not going to be one every day. It's going to be 1 or 2 a week, something like that. And we're going to get into it. And then there's going to be training that I'm going to put in the corporate papers outside of the live training. So we're going to get into that. Because, I have no clue. Part of me thinks about starting a moving company. Part of me thinks about starting a clothing company. Part of me thinks about starting a food product. I have no clue to what I'm going to do. But I do know about December, I should have one person hired exclusively for the car rental business, because my assistant, she's going to be helping me work on this. We're moving to a bigger office to have more room for more staff. And you're going to get to see this whole process. You're going to get to see this whole situation. You're going to get to see me do all of this stuff in real time with real marketplace data. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, there's a lot of people who are doing hire car, and there's a lot of people who are doing Toro. And if you understand hire car and Toro, you will understand that all markets are different. What works in Phoenix may not necessarily work in Atlanta. What works in Atlanta may not necessarily work in Phoenix. And I had someone that was saying, this kind of car, and I didn't get into it because I know that here in Atlanta, who has nothing but cars, he does $50,000 a month. He has 25 cars on Turo, and does about $55,000 a month. He doesn't have any new cars, and he has policies like these are older cars, doesn't move out of state, travel. And I know why, because if you don't take your car out of state and then something funky happens, you're looking at, you got to get your car towed, and then you got to get the car shipped back. You're looking at $600 right there just to get your car back. So I can understand why a lot of people don't want their cars out of state. But we're going to get into a lot of game, a lot of corporate game, and I'm going to teach you guys how to build real business credit, because I have a video on Savage Finance talking about business credit. And if you have good personal credit and a good income, you can leverage yourself up into a lot of business credit. But reality is, you will need to build substantial business revenue, build a relationship with the bank, because right now I am building my relationship with Wells Fargo. I have a Wells Fargo credit card that I've spent $15,000 to $30,000 per month, and I've not carried a balance on that credit card. So we're about 2 months from that card converting, and I'm going to see. I'll have real data points for you guys. I have real data points for you guys. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Let me see what's going on. Oh, we're having more issues. Yep, streaming from the car was a good idea because this can't take it. So that's all I got for you guys. I think I put out enough information. So I'm going to end the stream and just say, for the first 10 people who use the promo code corporate, you can get into the corporate papers. And this week, we will be adding people to the platform. And the first webinar is Sunday.